Hello from Alien Gear Holsters. I'm Nate, and I'm here with
Tim.
And we are talking about how you can conceal carry outside the waistband right here on Beginner's Guide.
Alright guys, Nate and I are both carrying outside the waistband today, and we are concealing. We're going to show you practical tips on how to conceal outside the waistband, meaning that you're wearing your holster on the outside of your pants, and how that would be different than carrying inside the waistband, and how practical it really is to conceal outside the waistband. Right now, Nate has on several holsters. Can you tell? Why don't you give us a spin?
Check it out. What do you think? Any holsters? Am I wearing a holster? Can you tell?
How many holsters am I wearing? Hard to tell.
Exactly.
Why don't we go ahead and take off that jacket?
All right, so let's take this off. You might see one or maybe even two. Never really know what you're gonna get.
And this is a good example of if you are gonna take off a jacket when you're wearing outside the waistband, you might show some of your guns. So you're gonna see us put on and off some of these layers here, and you'll see if you see them. So keep that in mind if you're wearing outside the waistband. Now, why don't you give us another spin? Nate doesn't have a jacket on, he just has a shirt on. Okay, now, why don't you reach up high like this?
Oh.
Pretend like you're grabbing something off a shelf.
Oh.
And then turn around while you're doing that.
Look at that, folks. Concealed or not concealed?
You wouldn't notice that he has something on this side here, but you might have peeked a little bit of a firearm on this side. So it's just something that you got to keep in mind if you're carrying outside the waistband. It's a little bit trickier to conceal, but it definitely can be done. Now, the kind of holster that you conceal with outside the waistband makes a dramatic difference. Some outside the waistband holsters will conceal easier. And one of the big things there is how well it hugs to your body and the design that makes that happen, as well as where you wear it on you. So there are different kinds of holsters. We're going to go through all the kinds that we could think of to carry outside the waistband and conceal them. So we've got shoulder holster, ankle holster, belt slide, paddle, and there are more out there, of course. We're going to show these ones today. And why don't we first start by showing you what a typical inside the waistband holster is if you don't know. Why don't you show that, Nate? So this is an inside the waistband holster right here. It's called an OWB holster if you're not familiar. And controversially, there is OWB holsters if you haven't heard that term, standing for outside the waistband holsters. Here is one that I'm wearing right now. This is called a belt slide holster. This is part of the Shapeshift modular holster system. And it is a holster that allows you to take your gun and move it between all sorts of other types of holsters so you get it into one system that's modular. It's really cool, it's really convenient, it's very modular, and it's very comfortable on each of the holsters. Another holster that we offer at Alien Gear Holsters for a belt slide is called our Cloak slide holster. That is what Nate is wearing right here. He actually has it on cross draw, so you would typically wear it at 90 degrees, or you could wear it cross draw like this.
Yeah, the cool thing about the belt slide is it actually hugs so close to your body. It's probably one of the more concealable outside of the waistband holsters. The one thing that the paddle holster might have, which is over here, over that, is it's easy to get on and off. And you can see how quick that was to take off. Where this, you actually slide your belt through it. So if you're just grabbing and going, the paddle holster might just be the one that you want to wear outside the waistband for concealing, and then just throwing your jacket over it just like that.
Why don't you go ahead and show them exactly how concealable each of those are. So
yeah.
Why don't you pull up your shirt? Why don't you take your shirt off all the way right now?
Here we go. Let's just do that for you real quick. This will make it a little easier. There we go.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and turn so they can see from the side how close this really hugs to your body right here. And then on the other side, this one sticks out a little bit more. It's also a double stacked firearm. That's going to make a difference. So it's a little bit wider, and those bullets in that mag are stacked side by side instead of directly on top of each other. So this gun is a little bit naturally wider, but also this holster doesn't quite hug as close to the body. And as opposed to this one, the Cloak Slide, which is available for over 500 models that we offer, hugs super tight. It really pulls it in, so it's a great choice. And then the Shape Shift belt slide that I'm wearing over here does the same thing, pulls it in nice and tight. And when you're doing a belt slide, as opposed to the paddle holster that Nate was talking about, it's a little bit different getting it on. So it actually slides onto the belt instead of pushing it over with a paddle. And the way that you put it on is you have to take your belt all the way off. So if you're going to take off the belt slide holster, you actually have to loop the belt outside of the holster like this. And you can put your belt back on, and you could switch to a paddle holster. This is our Shape Shift paddle holster. And now this one actually rides off of your body a little bit further than the belt slide.
Something to keep in mind with the belt slide is that you actually can loop through one of your loops, go through, loop through another loop, and then go through. So you don't have to try to fit it right in between your two belt loops. You can actually put it in between them if you'd like, so you can wear it pretty much anywhere you'd like.
Yes, and so now that I'm wearing this paddle holster, you might notice this one sits off your body a little bit more. So this is kind of a preference thing. How close do you want to ride that gun to you? Are you trying to conceal outside the waistband? So this one's gonna be a little more tricky. If you're wearing a coat, probably doesn't matter. But if it's in the summer and you just have a shirt like this, it's a little bit loose, this is how that would look. So you could pull it off, but it does print. So if it prints, that means that you can see the shape of the gun that you're carrying a gun. So if somebody says you're printing, that's what that means. So I personally would not carry like this because I feel like it would be a little bit awkward. But if I had a coat on, that'd be a different story.
Right. If you did have a coat on, you might just wear it like that so you can get easily into your firearm.
Yeah, and a really cool thing about this holster is that the gun pops off that easily, and then you could rotate it 360 degrees to be any position that you want.
Yeah, that's a really nice feature. The thing, it's not about concealing with the paddle holster, which is nice, is if you're out hiking or in the woods or something, it does allow you to go out so you can put your jacket on the inside of that. You can reach to it. That's when you're not trying to conceal the paddle holster. Put layers between it.
That's right. Okay, so next up, we have the shoulder holster. Nate's favorite.
One of my favorites right here, the shoulder holster.
Why is it your favorite?
Well, it's just so comfortable to wear all day long. Obviously, you can get a couple of backup magazines over here on your side if you want, or you can roll with two firearms. It's just comfortable. I don't know. I feel secure and safe. It's just cool. I like it. I don't know.
Definitely has a level of sophistication to it.
It definitely does.
Yes, and it's a classic, of course. So if you're gonna conceal with a shoulder holster, you've got some choices to make it extra concealable. One that we offer with the Shapeshift shoulder holster is, can you lift up your left arm there? You can actually change the cant of the firearm here so that it's vertical, so that it doesn't stick out. If you've got a long 1911, or of course carrying 1911s on a shoulder holster is a popular choice. Or you could have it come sideways, although this way may be pointing at people behind you that might make you feel uncomfortable. So there are just some personal decisions to make there, and also with how concealable it is with where that gun is pointing and how large it is.
The thing that's going to help you conceal with the shoulder holster is if you take your belt clip back here a little bit further instead of having it right up here, it's going to pull that firearm back a little ways like that, so you're actually going to be able to not print so much, whereas if you moved it forward, this would just come out a little further. So if you hide it a little further back like that, as well as changing the cant, so if your gun's canted out this way, it's going to stick out a little bit more, but if you can snug it right in like that, you're hardly going to print at all.
So you turn for me there. That's this piece right here that he's talking about. So you move this further back and it will ride that gun a little bit further back under your arm.
Exactly.
Okay. Lastly that we have to show you today is our ankle holster, also part of the Shapeshift modular holster system. Both of us have one on right now. Why don't you show yours first?
All right.
So now Nate has on the Glock 43 in the ankle holster, and he is wearing this outside of the boot. Why don't you turn your ankle just a little bit? So the way that he's wearing this is got the gun outside the boot. Now if you have a longer gun or a larger barrel, what you would do with a large boot like this is you could actually carry the holster and the shell inside of the boot and then lace the boot up around that. And the way this holster works is that you just kind of strap this around and it hugs it tight into your body, onto your ankle here. So it can hug into your calf depending on the shape of your calf, and then also how high you ride this holster will depend on how it fits onto your leg here. So with a higher boot like this, if you wanted to carry it out, that's going to make a difference there. You also got to keep in mind too that you've got to clear that pant leg above the gun. So Nate did a good job at getting that high enough so that he can make an effective grab on his firearm. Definitely something that you'll want to train with, and you might want to wear a little bit of a looser pant with something like this.
Yeah, avoid the skinny jeans.
And
that's all I can really say on that.
Yeah, and I have on an ankle holster too. And this is for a Shield 9mm, and I've got more of a standard shoe on here.
Hey, Tim, can you show them, like, if you wanted to try it with a different type of boots, maybe ones that don't lace up, if you want to just throw your, just step into a boot. What do we got here?
Okay, so I've got a cowboy boot here, and if you want to wear the cowboy boot now, this is what that would look like. So now I'm riding with the cowboy boot and the gun inside. So that's what that's going to look like. You can see it does size it up just a little bit, but I could find that comfortable, especially if you really wanted to wear some cowboy boots.
There you go. And obviously you will not print hardly at all with cowboy boots. It's going to look like your boots. Also, if you're looking right here like this, look, you can't honestly tell if I'm going to pull that up like that and reveal it. You probably would have never known that I actually had that. That's concealing outside the waistband for sure, right there.
And I'm wearing tactical pants. These are standard cut, I believe. And so if I wanted to clear that gun, I just have to pull up like that. And that gives me good access to my firearm. Now the ankle holster is part of the Shapeshift modular holster system. It has all sorts of choices for outside the waistband and inside the waistband carry, including the shoulder and the belt slide and the paddle. And each of them are made for comfort. So great choices if you want to carry outside the waistband. It's definitely a practical thing to carry outside the waistband and conceal it. Just something that you should be aware of, how concealable it is, and how it works for you, where you wear the holster, and which holster you pick.
Yes. There's also the drop leg holster, which is not very concealable unless you have a duster or a pair of chaps or something like that, which is also outside the waistband, but much harder to conceal, I would say.
Yeah, we also carry, in the Shapeshift modular holster system, a hook and loop holster for Velcro, and desk holsters, holster mounts. So if you don't want to carry a holster on you, maybe you're driving, or you're at your desk, or even at your bedside, there are other ways for you to put your gun in concealable locations. So keep all that in mind. And if you have any other questions, check us out at aliengrillholsters.com. We've got a great blog where you can get more information on this stuff and learn more about carrying inside and outside the waistband.
Follow us on Facebook and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.